Welcome to Make Shorts. I'm Calen. With me is my dad, Brandon. And today we will go over in the next 5 minutes the biggest frustrations when moving cattle from one pasture to another. This past summer, when I was home, we got to move some cows with their respective bulls and calves from the calving pasture after branding all the way to summer pasture. And there were a couple kinks here and there. So it made me think, hey, here's some good content material. So in the next 4.5 minutes, Dad, go for it on some of your biggest frustrations. And if we got time, we'll throw some of mine in there too.
Well, it's just normal. It's a lot of it weather dependent, temperature dependent. You always want to move cattle when it's cool,
Right.
especially calves. You don't want them, overheated, stressed, and they're gonna lag back depending on how far it is. They lose their mothers. Mothers are headed to grass, and they don't care. They'll come back for those calves at some other point. But
Which
so
is
you've got to
crazy to
keep
me
those calves moving.
because the motherly instinct, especially like with humans, is they're always trying to take care of the babies,
Right.
and the cows just don't care. They're like, oh, green grass, okay, cool.
Well, and these calves have been on them for a couple of months, so the new and shiny is starting to wear off for the
Yeah.
cow too. There isn't like they have to protect them like when they're newborns. So, keeping those calves moving, crossing highways, crossing a roadway or something that's different, going from gravel or dirt road onto highway sometimes can be a little challenging. Um, we did haul the bulls or push the bulls with these cows this time, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I think we had 4 bulls in this bunch, and
It was 4 bulls, and two of them
yeah,
decided they want to do their own thing. And we're like, all right,
2 of them
fine.
hate each other from day one, and they take every opportunity they can to fight. I try to keep them split up, but I needed these bulls to be with this bunch, and I thought, they've been together, they'll be okay. Now, we just left them. Honestly, we just like, we're not going to mess with these bulls. We can come back, we can pick them up later. But they fought for probably a quarter mile away from the corrals where we sorted.
Yeah, they
And
fought for a while, and that's why I
yeah,
looked at you. You're like, what do you want to do with them? And you're like, leave them. We're done.
yeah, we're just going to lose, but we're going to spill all of these cows and calves if we don't.
Yeah.
Just give up on them, and we'll come back for them. So that's one. These calves falling behind, and the other thing that's always a frustration is what you mentioned earlier. These cows they'll just take off and leave these calves. Every on the other side of the fence has to be sought after, and they just go after it, and they graze at about 2-3 mile an hour, and these calves we're trying to hold these cows up just to get them to mother up so that they don't go back. Like a couple of calves wanted to on you, and
Right.
you were able to pull them, get them back, but it's kind of nip and tuck there. I was getting a little worried that I was going to have to get in the middle of these cows that we're pushing, and send 4 or 5 cows back, pick
Well,
these calves up with
and
them,
that
and
was
then
my
bring them back
concern
to the
too, is
herd.
we're in the corner where we just gotten them into
Into
the
the
destination pasture,
right,
and they kept going back to the corner because clearly they wanted to go back to where they last milked.
right.
And
Well, they didn't
I
actually
was
milk; they nurse.
well, nurse, sorry, yeah.
They don't
And
have thumbs.
I was trying to push them, and it took me 4 or 5 tries to get them, and I was getting frustrated because I was actually I was putting more stress on the calves. I didn't want to be doing that, and that's
Right,
what was really frustrating me. And I was worried that they kept going a dead run to the corner where they came into the gate, and I didn't want to push them through the fence, and it was getting
right.
very close that was happening. And finally they did turn, but I was getting very concerned about that. So yeah,
Yeah.
1 minute.
Well, then once we get them up to water, you got to take them to water. Even though these cows know where this pasture is and what's there, or some of them, not all of them have been there. Um, you got to take them. You got to hold them on the water till they mother up with these calves, and they go, "Oh, guess my calf made it." And the calf goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't have to go back to try to find something to eat." And so then you can turn them loose, and when they're grazing like that and finding new grass, they're wanting to move. And it was a kind of a blustery day, and the wind was blowing a little bit, and they were wanting to follow with the wind. And so, yeah, just one of those deals. It's just normal, but it's something you got to watch for, take care in, and try to avoid some of those pitfalls. It's just the way it is. That's just a normalcy.
Yeah. So, all right, with that, that's some of the frustrations we had this particular year, but sometimes you see little bits and pieces of that throughout other years too when you're moving them from one pasture to another. So, those are the frustrations with moving cattle from one pasture to another.